Guys, coming to you live from Hiker Heaven in Agua Dulce, California. I'm deep into Section D. Actually, almost finished with it, and I realized it was time for a Section C update. Section C is about 133 miles. It starts in Cabazon, and it goes all the way to Cahoon Pass. And for me, Section C started on day 12, and that's where we left off on our last update. That's when you're coming down that long waterless stretch, Mount San Quinciento, and you're going down about, I don't know, it was probably 15, 20 switchbacks. And what you're going down to is a little tiny water faucet. And that's what I was going down to. It was really hot. Of course, that 15 miles, you're in a 20-mile waterless stretch. So, of course, it's hot, and you run out of water on the way down. So I ran out of water on the way down and fighting with the wind, and then I get down to where the water faucet is, and it's literally a water fountain with the wind howling. You put your water up there, you turn the water on, the water shoots out like when you're a kid in school, and the wind just blows it away from your water bottle. So this took quite a while for me to get 2 liters of water to keep going. And then after you get to the water faucet, to a bit of a road walk, and the road walk isn't really leading you to a good place. You're going down to where Section C starts, and there's an interstate, I believe it's I-10 or something like that, Cabazon, and when you have to hike there, alright, we're back. Had a short interruption, sorry about that, and we're talking about that day 12. Yeah, there's a chicken rooster right behind me, making a lot of noise. Anyways, you get down there, get down to Cabazon, and basically what you're hiking through is a desert. And it kind of reminded me of that Mad Max movie where they're driving through the desert, and there's desert just pelting your face, like sand, desert, all these little soft pebbles coming up. And you walk through that for like 2 miles, and then you finally get to where it turns to go under the overpass on the interstate. And when I did this, I turned, and I saw a really great sight, which was trail angels. And so when I got there, the trail angels had water and oranges, and I got one of those. And at that point, you had to decide where you wanted to camp or how far you wanted to go. So I decided I wanted to keep going past the wind farms, the La Mesa Wind Farm, which is the next little part you get to. It's private property, so there's really no camping. And then once you do that, you decide to go up to the wind farms. You basically go back into the desert at that point. But the good thing about the wind farms is the wind farm people have made a little bunker, a little shade bunker with water for the hikers, and so I stopped and checked that out. And then I kept going to a place called Whitewater Preserve. And this is when the day got even worse with the wind, because to get into Whitewater Preserve, you're going over a lot of hills, really narrow trail, really exposed open terrain. There's no cover, the wind's about blowing you away. So you keep walking and keep walking, and that day when I got to Whitewater Preserve, it was about 7:45, and had done 28 miles, and set up my tarp and hammock in Whitewater Preserve, and the wind got even worse that night. I thought my tarp was going to rip me apart. But that was day 12. But when we got there, we went to day 13, and that day was a lot better. The wind calmed down. I got into the Mission Creek area, which was really good because there's a lot of water, but it was also really hot, so it's pretty low elevation. And the rooster just wants to be the star of the show here. And another thing about Mission Creek is when you go down there, you get super misdirected because the trail's not really marked, and you're crossing the creek like 8 or 9 times. But we ended up finding a really good camping spot right before you got completely out of Mission Creek. And once you did that, I met a lot of other people, the big giant group. There's some people from Australia, New Zealand, and there's a lot of people. And that was day 13. And we keep on trucking this 130 mile Section C. Day 14, finally got to Mission Creek and up into San Bernardino Mountains. And was rewarded because in the San Bernardino Mountains they have some awesome campgrounds. One was called Arista Tree or something like that, and I camped there with the giant group that I had met the night before, and it was great camping. The temperature had cooled back down. Whitewater Preserve is really low in elevation, and this one's back up in the mountains, 6,000 to 7,000 feet, so it was a great night of camping. 15, I went from the tree camp and I went all the way to Big Bear Lake, which is where my next resupply was. The area of Big Bear was great. I stayed at the Big Bear Hostel. That was a really nice place. You may recognize it. It's where I made the other Section B update, and I got resupplied. I ate at a few of the really good places to eat there, and took the bus to the store, and then got ready to go and set up to go the next morning. When you hike out of Big Bear, you circle the lake and you get to see the ski resorts, and it seems like you circle the entire lake, just like every body of water on the PCT, but circled that. And once I got there, I found some other guys that I've been hiking with, Noah and Tony. They were there, and we camped at Little Bear Springs Trail Camp. There's a little camp for horses, but then across the way, there's a big grove of pine trees or spruce trees. There's a lot of nice tent spots. I recommend camping there if you can get near that mileage. And day 17 was a special treat in Section C. That was the day that I got to go to Deep Creek Hot Springs, which is a natural hot springs. I didn't take any video there and not many pictures because that area is clothing optional, and while I chose the option to have clothes on, there were a few people that didn't. But there's some pictures on Instagram of the area around it. It's a really nice place. Definitely stop by there. You can literally see it from the trail. But that night, Deep Creek was not very good camping, so I had to find a stealth spot. And then day 18, finally got to cross Deep Creek for the last time. And you go to an area called Silverwood Lake. And Silverwood Lake, the PCT wraps around that thing, I think the entire circumference, just like every other body of water that the PCT goes near. But it was kind of nice. They had a picnic area. You could go down, get some water, use the restroom. And after that, I just had to find an area on the side of the trail that was levelish and tarp there. And from there, I got up the next morning and I ended Section C, and it was in the best possible way. You go to Cahoon Pass, and at Cahoon Pass they have McDonald's, and it has all the special dollar menus and things like that, and PCT hikers just love it. And that's the end of Section C, and when we get back, we'll talk about Section D.